Are you looking to sharpen your skills, boost productivity, or take your career to the next level? The IISE Training Center offers world-class professional development built for busy engineers, managers, and problem solvers. Whether you're diving into analytics, earning a Lean Six Sigma certification, or exploring supply chain logistics, our expert-led courses deliver practical tools with real results. Learn online or in person with options tailored to every career stage. Plus, our training works. Past participants have applied their knowledge to save their companies over $250 million in real-world projects, and 90% of Lean Six Sigma candidates pass their exam on the first try. Visit iise.org/training to explore the full course catalog and start transforming your career today.
Here's the problem. Many incoming college students have no idea what industrial and systems engineering actually is, or the difference it can make in the world.
I always ask, do you know what industrial engineers do? And I get maybe 1-2 hands up.
This episode of Problem Solved shines a light on a creative solution, the ISE Impact Short Video Contest that invites students and professionals to explain ISE's value in about 1 minute. We'll talk to Dr. Muriel of UMass Amherst, who helped spearhead the competition, and hear from 2 of this year's winners, one who used animation to tackle the global issue of food security, and another who applied ISE methods to improve her performance in taekwondo. So join us and maybe expand your thinking about what industrial and systems engineering can do. Today, I'm excited to welcome Dr. Muriel, Associate Professor and Associate Department Head of Mechanical Industrial Engineering at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. She played a pivotal role in launching the ISE Impact Short Video Contest. This initiative showcases the creativity and impact of industrial and systems engineering in a way that inspires the next generation of engineers. Dr. Muriel, welcome to Problem Solved, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Elizabeth. It is a pleasure to be here with you today, trying to share our work on the video contest and hopefully expanding its reach.
So to start with, could you share a little bit more about your background and your path to becoming a leader in the ISE field?
First thing I would like to share with you is how I stumbled upon industrial and systems engineering, because that sets the stage for why we need this contest. I'm originally from Spain, so I grew up and did my bachelor's there. In Spain, industrial engineering means something very different. If you translate it literally, ingeniería industrial means something very different. It means general engineering, where then you can specialize in mechanical, electrical, or what would be our industrial engineering here in the US, which would be organización de empresa. So it's like business organization. So very, very different, right? So I was not attracted to our Spanish meaning of industrial engineering. And I loved math. I wanted to basically do something impactful, but with math. So I joined mathematics and statistics, and that's what my bachelor's is on. Now, let me tell you how I very serendipitously ended up in industrial engineering. I got a scholarship to, it was an exchange program between the University of Seville, where I did my bachelor's, and Northwestern University. I didn't know what department to apply for, so this was at the graduate level. And statistics sounded like the most aligned with what I had done, because I had done mathematics with a specialization in operations research and statistics. Obviously, industrial engineering didn't ring a bell to me, but it turns out the person who was in charge of admissions that year and read my application was in both the industrial engineering and statistics departments. So lo and behold, this is Professor Tamhani at Northwestern, read my application and just figured out that I was a much better fit, based on what I said, for industrial engineering. Without ever discussing it with me, I was admitted to the industrial engineering program, and I ended up there. And that totally changed my career path. I'm indebted to him for getting me into this discipline that I love.
Wow.
I came for only 9 months with this exchange program, and that was about 30 years ago.
So you're also an active member in CETA, which is the Council of Industrial Engineering Academic Department Heads. For those who may not be familiar, what is CETA and their mission and role within the ISE community?
So SIDA is composed by industrial and systems engineering department heads who are trying to exchange their views and perspectives on where the field is going, what we need to do to be competitive, to help each other. So it's competition, right? We're all competing for the best and brightest students, but we know that we're better collaborating with each other and making the pie bigger and everything better for each other. We also collaborate very closely with the Institute for Industrial and Systems Engineering in launching the conferences, right? There is a good partnership between the two. But basically, our mission is to make the most of this profession and help each other in elevating industrial and systems engineering.
Yeah. So the ISE Impact Short Video Contest was an idea that came out of SIDA. Could you tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind the contest and why was it created?
So just as my path into industrial and systems engineering shows, many people don't know what industrial and systems engineering is or what we do. The title, the name, doesn't really ring a bell for most people. I ran the open house, the visitation days for prospective students and their families. And because we are a mechanical and industrial engineering department, I get a room full, an auditorium full of students and parents. The vast majority of them are interested in mechanical engineering. I always ask, do you know what industrial engineering engineers do? And I get maybe 1, 2 hands up. And this is not only at UMass. Once I started discussing with the other department heads in industrial and systems engineering at SIDA, it turned out that it's a widely spread misconception. And every time, right, we're discussing how do we change this? How can we get industrial and systems engineering to the mainstream? How can it be like mechanical engineering, right? Everybody knows what mechanical engineers do because it's more tangible. They have an automobile, right, to show here it is what we do. So we've been discussing ideas, and at some point we said, okay, we need to get a group of us that are very invested in this, in making it work, to get together and figure out what should be our path forward. So I have a great group of colleagues, such as our current president in SIDA, Pratik Parekh at the University of Louisville, Rana Babu-Chinam at Wayne State, Kevin Tafe at Clemson University. So these are the chairs of the SIDA Visibility Task Force, but all of us are, and then we have many others that I would like to thank, but I don't want to extend it too long. Basically, we've been figuring out what would be the most promising ideas. We actually ran a survey with students, mostly freshmen and all throughout college, to see where the gaps are. How much do they know about industrial and systems engineering? And what would be ways in which we could improve this knowledge? So based on our survey, the short videos popped up as one of the most promising. We want to meet prospective students where they are, right? They're in social media, they're looking at TikTok, they're looking at YouTube. They need very fast-paced consumption, something that engages them from the very first clip, right? That they have to look at it and say, oh yeah, I'm gonna continue watching, right? It's not just swipe and go to the next thing.
Yeah, no, I think that's really smart. I'm just curious, when you have these new student orientations and you ask a prospective student, what is ISE, and they don't know, what is your answer to them? How do you explain ISE in like 1 or 2 sentences to somebody who doesn't know?
My favorite example is Amazon, right? How much industrial and systems engineering there is behind Amazon. I always tell them, you have this package delivered in just a day or 2. Aren't you amazed by it? How can they do that cost effectively, right? And make a profit out of it? The logistics that go behind it. They need to have enough inventory. They have to have it positioned. They have to have the trucks. They have to have the workers, the logistics, right? Everything has to come into place at the same time in this beautiful system.
And maybe some students think of that as just a business degree. So do you ever have people respond, well, isn't that just majoring in business?
That's a very good question. I always talk about how there are lots of algorithms and problem solving that goes behind it. So that's where the engineering comes. At the end, engineers are problem solvers.
Yeah. Well, this podcast is called Problem Solved because that's what ISEs do, is they solve all those problems.
Yeah, and then I tell them how we bring people, technology, systems all together to make the world a better place, right, Paul?
Yes, absolutely. So back to the contest, how do you think this contest connects with and inspires future ISE students? I know you talked about meeting them where they are and in the place where they are. Do you see that it really has been effective in inspiring people's paths forward?
But that is still out to see. The jury is out there. As part of the competition, we have some young students that are part of the judging process, and they very much like the videos and connected with them. But I must say that the way we organize everything is very purposeful. Like, we have the videos organized by both industry, with the objective to show the wide variety of industries that industrial and systems engineers can contribute to. I think that's very important, right? Because to say industrial engineering and they think they're going to be in a manufacturing factory, right? And that's it. And then you show that it's healthcare, it's aerospace, it's finance and insurance, it's energy. Basically, any organization is driven by processes, and processes are made better by industrial and systems engineers. And then we show also how their different passions can be fulfilled with industrial and systems engineering. You want to help people? Well, through healthcare. We have one of the videos talks about helping a animal shelter and the processes there. You can use industrial and systems engineering for any nonprofit, for any organization. So if helping people is what you really want to achieve, there are many ways in which industrial and systems engineers can be part of the solution there.
Right. So from your perspective, what elements make a great short video? What makes a video really stand out to you?
Okay, so the first few seconds are key because we are talking about very young individuals, right, that are used to fast pace. Hey, I don't like it, I swipe and go to the next one. It has to be relatable. We want story that is personal, that can connect, somewhat fast paced. Initially, we were okay with having more broader videos that just talk about industrial engineering in general. At this point, we have enough of those. So the videos that we're looking for are much more pointed towards just a particular industry or a particular type of problem solved, right? As you like to put it. It should be a personal experience that the person who is narrating and the student can really kind of engage with.
We take a look at two of these winning videos right now. Hannah Brooks's problem: she needs money for school, so she puts her very unique set of skills together to find and enter an industrial systems engineering video contest. Her other problem: she's not an ISE student. So how did she do it? Hannah Brooks, welcome to Problem Solved. I would love it if you could just take a minute and introduce yourself to our listeners.
All right. Hi, my name is Hannah Brooks. I am a nursing student. I'm actually transferring between a few schools right now. I've been at Liberty University Online, Japan Community College, and I'm currently transferring to James Madison University.
Nursing, that's amazing.
It really is. I'm so excited. It's always been my dream to be a postpartum nurse, and I am just so excited to be just getting closer to that dream.
So I'm just curious, since you're not an engineering student, how did you come to find yourself being one of the contestants in this contest?
I actually came across it through, surprisingly enough, research. So one thing I've always been taught growing up is always use your skills wisely. Even if you don't think they could be used in any way, it's never wrong to try. And in my case, one of the skills that I've been able to develop over the years is stop motion animation. And I was just going through literally the internet trying to figure out, what are some ways I can use my skills to earn money for college. And I came across ISE. I remember looking at it and being like, oh my gosh, this sounds like really interesting. I was looking at some of like their questions, what they were looking for. They said that they place specific attention to certain topics, one of them being food security, which as someone who loves cooking for people, that's just always been something that's been on my heart. And so I just got really excited about it. And I thought, I might as well just try.
Yeah. Well, it's a very impressive video for a number of reasons, but what stands out to me is the fact that you're not an ISE student. So how did you go about studying the ISE concepts to incorporate into your video about food security? I mean, it's kind of like you had to have a crash course in ISE.
It really was a crash course. I actually spent, I'm going to say, about that first week just researching ISE. What does that even mean? What are the basic principles behind industrial and systems engineering? And more specifically, how is it applied in like ways to address food security? I was also looking at technology because it had two categories. So I had technology and food security, and I was figuring out, well, how do those two topics coincide? My dad is an operations research analyst, so I've just always prioritized research before I do anything else.
Yeah, very smart. It sounds like you learned a lot. How do you think the general public relates to this? I mean, what do you think just regular people think about food security as it relates to ISE?
I don't think the general public knows just how much ISE has been used to address issues like food security. Like when I first started, I must admit, when I thought of engineering and food security, all I could think of was food processing factories. And as someone who loves to watch how it's made, it's like the conditions aren't exactly the greatest. And so I kind of saw it in a very negative light. But as I continued researching and figure out all the many different ways they were developing machines that weren't just clean, they were, using resources very efficiently. They were trying to minimize their carbon footprint. And I was like, this is really interesting. This is impressive. And it just made me really, really appreciative of industrial and systems engineering. Even though I'm not going into that particular field, it just generated so much more respect for
Yeah,
industrial and systems engineering.
right. So your video is animated, and I wanted to ask you, how on earth did you learn how to do that?
Well, I'm actually self-taught. I do love something I've noticed I do a lot is when I watch a film, or just a production from someone else, I am actually looking at it from the perspective of a director. Like, oh my gosh, that camera angle is so good. I wonder if I could do something like that. And I've always found documentaries interesting, so I've like watched documentaries of like Walt Disney, and I've tried to replicate that in my own work. Just I have all this time on my hands during summer sometimes, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Maybe I can experiment with it and see how far I can go. For ISE, I actually tried a lot of new techniques because I really wanted to bring the idea across. I really wanted to shed a really positive light on industrial systems engineering. I was using like about 6 to 12 frames per second. That's about half of what Walt Disney does. He used to do like 24, I think. But there were different angles. I was trying to do very vivid colors because I know that just it evokes a very positive attitude, and that was exactly how I felt when I was researching. It did take a very long time though. Like I'm gonna say 70 some hours here and
Wow.
there. A lot of the clips, such as, I think at one point there was an assembly line, I was having to use rulers to make sure that every single item as they were moving maintained a consistent size, shape, length. And that took a lot of time. Like I said, this is something that Walt Disney used to use in his animated movies, basically. Mine is slightly different. I used a draw and erase method instead of using multiple sheets of paper to conserve my resources.
Oh, that's really interesting.
What is one thing you couldn't live without? Maybe some of you would say family, or a hobby you enjoy, or even a phone. But what if we considered something we literally couldn't live without? Food. While food is widely available in many countries, over 820 million people worldwide still suffer from hunger. Fortunately, industrial and systems engineering is currently being applied in the food industry.
So you took a lot of your skills and your strengths and your talents and your interests and your passions, and you put them all together in this one really impressive video. So you must feel really good.
I mean, all can I say is that it's just been a huge privilege to be able to get so far. I mean, like I said, I have zero experience in ISE. I honestly thought that like the directors would just laugh at my video and be like, "Oh, she knows nothing. This is ridiculous." I was just trying to see like, is my research enough? Is my illustrations enough? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the people judging the videos are ISEs. They're not animators. So when they see this other really rare skill, I think it's going to stand out to them. So I think that was a really smart way to approach it.
I think so too. And I was super surprised when I got the email. I will say though, I think it was Mrs. Muriel. She emailed me back and she did give me a lot of changes I had to make. So there was like a lot of a humbling moment there of like, okay, obviously I do not know everything. And she was actually the one who encouraged me to research Six Sigma and value stream mapping and include that in there too, as well as the importance of ISE collaborating with a lot of different people from different fields in order to accomplish their goals. We had a few Zoom meetings together, and I don't know, she was just one of those personalities that's just very refreshing, and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
with her help, I was able to develop I think, a more accurate view of ISE, and I was able to contribute to my video in that way. And I think it was a lot better in the end.
Yeah, because there's a lot of other students listening that are looking for ways to, either get scholarships or find contests where they can get school money or something. So do you have any other advice for them if they're out there scrolling like you were scrolling for contests to enter?
Well, I would say just definitely take advantage of every skill that you have, whether it be drawing, poetry, gardening. I mean, the possibilities are endless. It is surprising to see how many competitions are actually available on the internet.
Right. Well, very smart to take advantage of that. So can you tell us what's next for you?
Well, I'm currently in the process, like I said, for my nursing degree. I'm hoping that once I get into JMU, I can finish. I think I have 2.5 years left. After that, I'm going to be going straight into a hospital as a post-partum nurse. Lord willing, is just been a lifelong passion of just serving people, particularly mothers and children. So honestly, if I'm put in any nursing position where I am doing that, I'm going to be happy.
That's great. That's really amazing. Do you think any of the concepts that you've learned about ISE you might carry with you into the future?
That's a good question. I know that when I was researching ISE, there was a huge emphasis on research and experimentation, both of which I do try to apply in my daily life. One other thing I would say is I will definitely carry on this respect for ISE in the future, as well as encourage a lot of my friends to pursue careers in ISE, because I did notice that it is definitely a very growing field.
Hannah, congratulations again, and thanks for talking with us.
Oh, it's been no problem at all. It has been my privilege to be able to talk with you guys.
Next, we talk to Anwaar Zyoud. Anwar's problem? Despite her disciplined training in taekwondo, she was not achieving the results she wanted. Her solution? Turn her training into a strategic, systems-based challenge using motion tracking, data analysis, and competitor monitoring, and the results are powerful. Hi, Anwaar. Thanks for being with us on Problem Solve today.
Hi. First, I'd like to thank you so much for having me in this podcast. It's truly an honor to be here. So my name is Anwaar, as you said, and I'm an industrial engineer from Jordan.
Jordan. Awesome.
I'm currently working at the office of His Majesty King Abdullah II, King of Jordan. Yeah, and I've been an active member of IISE for several years, and had the privilege of serving as the secretary of chapter 792 at the University of Jordan. So being part of this podcast is really special to me.
That's great. That's amazing. So where did you hear about the contest, and what made you decide you wanted to enter, and how did you come up with such a unique and fascinating topic to do it? Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so last year I saw a friend of mine sharing on LinkedIn that he won the first place in this contest. So I asked about it, and I liked the idea. So I was waiting for this year's competition, and I tried to make something like that seemed authentic to me, something that combined both the things that I'm more passionate about, like taekwondo and ISE, which were both my dream.
So your video starts with you saying something was missing. So my question is, what made you realize that what was missing wasn't more training, but it was a new way of thinking?
Well, because I'm a very hard worker, and I really took taekwondo into another level. And then I didn't get what I want at first. So after I graduated from school and started in the university with the industrial engineering, I felt things changed. I started implementing what I'm learning and the concept of engineering into my practice. And then I started like gaining and having the achievements that I was willing for. So I felt that this was the missing part.
Yeah, it's amazing. The results are really like stunning. You said adjusting your kick angle by just 5 degrees made such a huge difference in balance and recovery. So how did it feel to see data drive a physical result like that? Did it surprise you? I mean,
Yes,
yeah.
it really did.
When I first started Taekwondo, it was all about strength and speed. I trained hard, fought harder, but something was missing. Then I discovered industrial and systems engineering, and everything changed.
So tell us about how you tackled this issue with ISE in mind.
I began by applying the ISE principles to my athletic performance. I recorded my sparring sessions and used motion analysis to break down each move, studying my posture, reaction time, and footprint frame by frame to find inefficiencies. I also tracked performance data, heart rate, timing, fatigue, and used spreadsheets to chart patterns and adjust my training accordingly. If I noticed my reaction time dropped after 4 rounds, I built sessions that mimicked that stress and trained to stay sharp longer. So I adopted continuous improvement, or let me say Kaizen, where you don't wait for something to go wrong, but you constantly test and reflect and improve. So instead of spending equal time on everything, I allocated time based on what had the biggest impact on my performance. That way I was training smarter, not just harder, just like in
Right.
engineering.
So you're describing a really complex process, but the video you made is only 60 seconds, a little over 60 seconds. So when you're putting this video together, did you find that difficult to condense all of that complexity into such a short amount of time?
Yes, because at first when I prepared the original video, it was much longer, like really longer. But then I had to remove clips, I had to remove things that I mentioned. And this is the result that I ended up with.
You had to do a lot of editing, huh?
Yeah, a lot.
So what would you say to another student out there, maybe another athlete who thinks that engineering is all maybe circuits and code and it's not something that could help them win a match? Do you have any words of wisdom?
Yeah. I hope my journey inspires others to look beyond traditional boundaries and explore how their skills can create impact in unexpected places. So, if there is one thing I've learned, it's that passion, consistency, and smart strategy can take you further than you've ever imagined.
Great. That's awesome.
It really made me like feel proud after, especially after the announcement of that I won. It felt like I really have this thing that's gonna like continue. Like for now, I stopped taekwondo, but I'm sure that one day I'll be able to deliver for the whole world that industrial engineering can be combined with anything, even if it's unexpected or like out of the box, but combining it with industrial engineering will be very impactful and will be very effective and will give the results that no one is expecting.
Yeah. So what's next for you personally?
So for now, I took a break from taekwondo in order to focus on my career.
Okay. What are some of your career goals?
I want to open my own like business in the future, like to have my own maybe taekwondo place, and maybe on another on the opposite, I'll be managing it using industrial engineering tools to make it more productive.
Anwaar, your creative use of industrial and systems engineering in a personal and athletic context is not only inspiring, but it's a perfect example of how this field can make an impact in unexpected places. So thank you for being with us today, and best of luck in everything to come.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a real pleasure to share my story on Problem Solved.
So to wrap up, Dr. Muriel, what advice would you give to students, whether they're pursuing ISE or exploring another field, to help them make the most of their education and early career?
Explore. Keep an open mind, right? You may have had a thought from day one, from the time you were little, that you absolutely wanted to be tinkering with cars and designing cars. But there are many ways in which you can contribute to that design, to being part of that industry. So just keep an open mind and explore. There are many paths that you may not be aware of yet. So keep learning. Industrial and systems engineering is one good example that most kids would never have thought about, because the name doesn't really ring a bell. But then once you explore what we do, and hopefully these videos help you do so, then perhaps it is for you.
So finally, what can you tell us about the next cycle of the contest, and how can students participate?
So for the next cycle, now because we have a good set of videos already, we are gonna now have only one competition a year rather than two. So we're gonna have it open. We're gonna open it now and close it January 15th, so that there is plenty of time. Now, I must say that it's not only students that contribute. We would welcome submissions from any practitioner, faculty members. What we want is good stories that the young individuals can relate to. So there is absolutely no eligibility restrictions on that end. We just want good stories that are gonna be relatable. We don't have anything in finance or insurance at this point. We don't have anything in space exploration. In entertainment, we don't have anything yet, which I know there is a lot of industrial and systems engineering in entertainment. You go to Disney World, right? And there is so much that has been done there to improve your experience as you go through the park, right? So those stories are not there yet, and I think they would be, they are needed.
All right. Well, the ISE Impact Short Video Contest, it's such a creative way to showcase the real world value of this profession. And I know that our listeners will be inspired to see and maybe even create these stories for themselves. So, Dr. Muriel, thank you so much for sharing your insights and passion for both industrial and systems engineering and for the next generation of students. We wish you and the contest continued success.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I look forward to the submissions.
Links to these two and other great video entries are in the show notes, along with details to the next round of the contest. A special thanks to all of our guests. Join us next time for a new Problem Solved, and until then, remember to explore and keep learning with an open mind.
Are you looking to sharpen your skills, boost productivity, or take your career to the next level? The IISE Training Center offers world-class professional development built for busy engineers, managers, and problem solvers. Whether you're diving into analytics, earning a Lean Six Sigma certification, or exploring supply chain logistics, our expert-led courses deliver practical tools with real results. Learn online or in person with options tailored to every career stage. Plus, our training works. Past participants have applied their knowledge to save their companies over $250 million in real-world projects, and 90% of Lean Six Sigma candidates pass their exam on the first try. Visit iise.org/training to explore the full course catalog and start transforming your career today.